They done fucked up again. Hey, what's up? This is Gardetrace. And in Dragon Ball Super Episode 92, we had Kaba teaching Caulifla how to become a Super Saiyan. The way that Kaba explains it is by focusing in on that tingly feeling in your back.
慣れれば背中のこの辺りに力を集中すればこんなところにゾワゾワって力を集中させたことなんてないですよね。
あるわけないだろ。
Yeah, tingly feeling. So, that's exactly what Caulifla does. And guess what? It works! Just like that. I am serious. I am not joking. I wish I were joking. She pretty much pulled Super Saiyan out of her ass. You know what? It would have had the exact same effect if she did. You know, if she literally reached up her asshole and yanked out Super Saiyan, that would have had the exact same effect as what the fuck we got here. But even with as bad as that is, we're still not at the worst of it yet. In Dragon Ball Super Episode 93, they're trying to teach Kale how to become a Super Saiyan with that same method. She's having a little issue, but they help her out by resorting to petty name calling.
こりゃチンパンジ
おたんこなすヘナチョコヘタレサイヤ人
何うちの妹分泣かしてんだよ。
It works.
やめてくだ。私なんかどうせヘタレのサイヤ人姉さんの邪魔になるだけ。私なんか
Ladies and gentlemen, here is Girl Broly. And that's actually should be her name. Because she is nothing more than Broly with titties and a vagina. That is all the fuck she is. She's isn't like a character who was simply inspired by Broly. She is nothing more than the Rule 63 version of Broly. That is it. That sums her up completely.
キャーベまずお前から血祭りにあげてやる
You, Kakarot, I choose you to be the first of my victims.
Everything about Kale was taken from Broly in Movie 8 of Dragon Ball Z. She is not a character who simply has a design inspired by Broly, however she goes on to do her own thing. She is nothing more than Broly being made canon without actually making him canon, and that sucks. Because this episode was nothing but references and callbacks to that movie, just shameless pandering to the base and fan service at the expense of making a good character. And it makes me wonder, has Toei really whored themselves out this much? Does that mean that any movie villain can basically get this type of treatment? So what's next? Are you gonna do it for Cooler? Janemba? Android 13? So we have her here, and she does all of the same shit that Broly does, down to the techniques, as well as the first thing she says upon transforming. Why? It's like, what the fuck is this? And also, why is she attacking Kaba? That doesn't make any fucking sense. This is so stupid. Why is she attacking him in the first place? It's like, you know, with Broly has always been a character that's been very dumb yet very cool at the same time. It's just, you know, his, you know, motivations are stupid as well, you know. He wants to kill Goku because back when they were newborn babies, Goku was in the incubator next to him and wouldn't stop crying. Who the fuck remembers who's in the incubator next to them when they were babies? Nobody, that's who. So that's a dumb motivation, but people back up Broly because he, quite frankly, looks cool, and also the idea of a legendary Super Saiyan is a compelling one. That's why there's a lot of people who will support Broly in spite of his stupid motivations. Whereas we have Kale here, she doesn't even have that going for her. Why is she attacking Kaba? Like, seriously, why?
Apparently, Kale thought Caulifla was flirting with Kaba, which resulted in her transforming and trying to kill him. However, as soon as Caulifla reassured her that she has no romantic interest in Kaba whatsoever, that was enough to calm Kale down and revert her back to normal, which is the stupidest fucking motivation ever. That's even stupider than Broly's. And also, there's a whole lot of Yuri undertones with this, like perhaps Kale actually has a crush on Caulifla. So, fan art like this ain't entirely unjustified.
Because, you know, her personality, she's nothing but Hinata from Naruto until she transforms into Broly. She goes from Hinata to Broly. It's pretty much let's say if Hinata had like an Incredible Hulk complex, that's what she'd be. That is boring as fuck. This is literally nothing but Broly with titties and a vagina. It's like, wow, you were trying to answer to two fans. You were trying to answer to the fans who were demanding a female Super Saiyan, as well as the fans that were demanding for Broly to be canon. So you try to merge the ideas, but you piss off both sides at the same time. But, you know what? Even with as bad as all of that is, we're still not done. In the episode, we have Kaba, he's about to get murdered by Kale. So what does Caulifla do? She steps in to stop her. However, she decided she needs more power to do so. So she goes Super Saiyan 2. Like that. Yeah, I'm serious. She went Super Saiyan 2. She just... Yeah, I know it's going through all of your minds, because it's going through mine. She just went Super Saiyan 2. So, everything that was established, all of the requirements, all of what you had to go through in order to reach this has just been completely thrown out of the window. It's been shat on. It's been royally fucked in the ass. All of it means nothing. So it's like, think about it. Think of the Androids arc. Because pretty much, that's an arc focusing on going beyond the limits of a Super Saiyan. That was the whole idea of that arc. So, everyone is trying to become Super Saiyan, because like we have Gohan, he's trying to become a Super Saiyan in this arc, and then Goku is of course teaching him. So just imagine this. Think about if they're in the hyperbolic time chamber and Goku just simply told Gohan to focus on a tingly feeling in his back. And then Gohan, right from the get-go, goes Super Saiyan. Would you be as invested in the characters? Of course not. Or hey, here's an even bigger one. Let's say in the future timeline we have future Gohan with future Trunks, and then of course Gohan is trying to teach Trunks how to go Super Saiyan, but Trunks is unable to do so. But then we have the androids who murdered Gohan, and then the anguish of losing him was what pushed him over the edge for him to go Super Saiyan. That's something that has been established. It's anguish, it's rage. That is what is required to go Super Saiyan.
Yes, naturally, it's a Super Saiyan bargain sale.
Before you say anything, yes, I am aware that Kid Trunks and Goten became Super Saiyans without meeting the proper requirements first. However, it could still be justified, as this comment right here so hilariously points out. Goten and Trunks were conceived by the time that their fathers had already become Super Saiyans, so they likely inherited the transformation. Although that in of itself is still kind of a flimsy excuse, it is still heavily implied to be the case, and there's evidence to back it up.
But we have Caulifla, who just goes Super Saiyan on her absolute first try. She has no exposure to Super Saiyans until Kaba shows her what it is, and then she gets it by focusing in a tingly feeling on her fucking back. And then imagine if any of them could suddenly become Super Saiyan 2. Let's say if we have the Cell games, and then all of them are trying to ascend past Super Saiyan, but imagine if all of them could just decide right on the fly they needed more power, and they just go Super Saiyan 2 just like that. That is shit. That is shit writing. This whole show is total shit. Okay? Okay, there's lazy writing and there's shit writing. Lazy writing can still be pulled off nicely to make a good story. Because, you know, pretty much Dragon Ball is all about lazy writing. It's nothing deep or complex. Everything is simple and easier to understand, but it still makes for a good story. Whereas Super, it's just been the epitome of shit writing after shit writing after shit writing. Everything has just gotten shittier and shittier. It's like they're writing out at the seat of their pants. It's pretty much, right now, Dragon Ball Super is basically fucking everything over, retconning everything, kind of like how the last arc of Bleach was doing in the manga. It's like, I'm not going to talk about that though, but anyway, that's what is essentially happening. So many things that have been established have just been completely contradicted with this. Because, just think about it. It's like, we have Caulifla and Kale, they go Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan Berserker, since that's what we're going to call that Broly form, respectively. And, well, all they are Mary Sues. They're fucking Mary Sues. They just pulled the power out of their ass. Just like that. They're basically, these are characters that I would expect to see on fanfiction.net. Some 14-year-old boy made these two female Saiyans, gave them all of these abilities and power-ups just cause, you know, they're his wish fulfillment characters. That's all the
fuck that they are. This isn't writing I would expect from a major animation studio or a well-known Japanese manga artist. This is not what I would come to expect from them. So, since they are resorting to this shit, it lets you know that they just plain and simply don't give a fuck. That's all Dragon Ball Super is. A huge example of how they just plain and simply don't give a fuck anymore. And it just really seems like they're trying to kill my interest in the series. It seems like they're trying to kill my interest in Dragon Ball as a whole. That's what it really feels like. Because with Dragon Ball Super, you know, I was trying to have a slight level of optimism at this point. I saw 2 female Saiyans. I thought, okay, this is going to be something nice, I hope. But then, as it turns out, it's just more shit. It's just nothing but more shit. The series is basically all shit with a few golden moments in it. Just like certain moments that are awesome within it, but it's buried under a huge pile of shit. That's all it really is. I'm not gonna dig through shit to get a few pieces of gold or to get diamonds or anything like that. It's just, why would I waste my time on that when I could just go plain and simply watch something better? Because that's what this series is. It's not gonna kill my overall interest in Dragon Ball. I'm just gonna take Dragon Ball Super and just pretend it doesn't exist, as it's really easy for me, as I pretty much accepted that GT is canon. Pretty much, for me, I accept GT as canon. Dragon Ball Super, first of all, I don't even really believe that all of this shit can be going on in between the Majin Buu saga and the finale of Dragon Ball Z. Also, is it me, or was the animation of this episode really shitty? Because, like, Kale looked very off-model in a lot of moments, especially when her mouth was open. And then I look at Caulifla, sometimes her head was too big, sometimes her arms were like either too short, too stubby, or just overall didn't look right compared to the rest of her. Her facial expressions looked off, looked like a 5-year-old drew them. It's just, I guess that's also a way of Toei Animation saying, hey, we don't give a fuck at this point. It's like, you guys just seem to really go out of your way to just piss me off further and further. That is why I talk shit about this series. It's just now, we have 2 female Saiyans who have just completely undermined everything about Super Saiyans. Everything within Dragon Ball Z has been completely undermined with them. And it also, another thing that I gotta say is, you know, during the tournament itself, what are they gonna do? Like, let's say, is Caulifla gonna decide she needs more power and go Super Saiyan 3 right off the bat? Hey, is she gonna go Super Saiyan God? She gonna go Super Saiyan Blue? Or how about Kale? Is she gonna be a Saiyan Berserker, Super Saiyan 3 sort of thing? Is she gonna be like God Broly in that Universal Japan thing? Is she gonna be, what the fuck? Are they just gonna keep pulling these power-ups out of their asses like this? Because it just really seems like that's where the story is headed. And you know what? Maybe the tingly feeling in your back thing isn't limited to Saiyans. Maybe everyone else can do it. Hey, how did Golden Frieza become a thing? I guess Frieza just focused on the tingly feeling in his back and focused on it for 4 months to continually draw out power, and then boom, he turned gold. Or how about Android 17? How he became strong enough to go toe to toe with Super Saiyan Blue Goku. He just was on that island. Like, when he wasn't beating up poachers, he was just focusing in on a tingly feeling in his back. That's pretty much, it seems like it's going to be like a half-ass explanation that can be pretty much applied to everywhere. The series, they just pretty much, they have these 2 female Saiyans. We've gotten the first female Super Saiyan ever in the form of Caulifla, and she's a fucking Mary Sue. She's an Uchiha. Basically, her going Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 is the same as the Mangekyo Sharingan pulling out new power-ups as the plot demands. It's like, you know, all of a sudden, you know, she's got Susanoo, she's got Izanagi, she's got Isanami, all of this bullshit just constantly coming out of nowhere with no build-up or no foreshadowing, no Chekhov's gun being put in place, none of that. It's just, this series, I've just really had it up to here, you know, between Majin Buu falling asleep and then ultimately being replaced with Frieza, and now we throw two Mary Sue female Super Saiyans on top of that, one of which is nothing but Broly with titties and a vagina. My expectations of the Tournament of Power have gone straight down from this. I'm just gonna go into the Tournament of Power expecting nothing. I'm gonna have no optimism at this point because really, this series has shown what having optimism for it will lead for you. So what do you guys think of what's been going on in the past 2 episodes involving Caulifla and Kale? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Also, be sure to like and subscribe for more content to come. Anyway, with that being said, that'll be the end of this video. Have a good day, everyone. This is Trace, signing out.